All right, before we get started in today's episode, we wanted to give a shout out to our patrons over at Patreon, and let's just say that they're out there doing the hard work. They're keeping the lights on for us here.
Yes.
All we're doing is producing content. So that is Eric Sari, Andy Herbrand, and Lauren L. Thank you again so much for your continued support. If you want to learn more about Patreon, please go over to our website, wisconsindrunkenhistory.com. Hey, welcome to the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. We are your hosts, Eric Sturgeon.
And I'm Russell Sari.
This podcast is about all things Wisconsin: history, music, culture, and beer. Although we don't often use strong language, the content is not intended for young audiences, so listener discretion is advised.
If you love the bluegrass music you hear in this intro, please check out Dang It's from Madison, Wisconsin by visiting their website, dang-its.com. Now on to the show.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of your favorite Wisconsin Drunken History podcast, Wisconsin Drunken History.
Hey, whoa.
We are your weekly dose of the Dairy State. We, of course, are your hosts. As always, I am Eric.
And I'm Russ.
And today we are talking about an important person in Milwaukee's early history. That is Increase Allen Lapham. The last name for anybody who's visited Milwaukee may look pretty familiar, as there is a road and exit right off the highway.
You know that one.
That you use, in fact, to go by State Fair, Meyer Park or whatever. So you may have heard that before. And we are also featuring amazing Wisconsin music today from Sons of Leroy. We have another beverage review. We have another installment of the infamous How Many Locals You At? And as always, a great interview with Montello Brewing Company.
Awesome.
This is just another one of those ones that stacks onto our great interviews, you know. So as we've sort of talked about at the top of the show, you heard about our Patreon and the patrons that help support. You can do your kind of end of the bargain simply by listening, and also by going and rating, liking, subscribing, reviewing us on Apple Podcasts and that sort of stuff, as well as checking out the Patreon itself. You can find most of these things by just visiting our website directly, wisconsindrunkenhistory.com. Links to most of that stuff is right there. Hey, tell a friend too. I mean, if that's what you, if that's the easiest thing for you to do, it's cool. And thank you for your continued support and listenership. And our TeePublic, it's getting hot out there, and we've got tank tops.
Oh yeah, we get some pretty sick tanks. I mean, I'm
absolutely
not gonna lie, like, you look a little trailery. Helps out with the guns out, though, you know, and you feel better in the heat. Rock them, right? I mean, who cares?
Yeah, I don't pull off a tank top, but I know there's plenty of you out there that can. You can rock tank tops and thong-toed sandals. That's not something I can get away with. I am just not good enough at life to do it. So, hey, let's jump in. Let's learn a little bit more about Increase Allen Lapham.
Yeah, so Increase Allen Lapham was born Allen Lapham in Palmyra, not Wisconsin, by the way.
Okay.
Not the little shitbag town. Yeah, we're talking about Palmyra,
a lot
New York,
of tank
right?
tops in that town.
There might be a lot of tank tops, right? There's some muscles, there's some guns out, some Camaros running down the road. You know the huge. And he was born on March 7th of 1811, the fifth of 13 children. His parents were Quakers, so attending school was out of the budget for his large family. His father, being a canal contractor, employed Lapham to be a general laborer on the canal construction crews. He was always working from day one, and when he was 13 years old, he was even employed as a stonecutter for lock gates in Lockport, New York. This would be something he would settle for and became naturally curious, and he was also intelligent, and he was also great at sketching and drawing. He would draw topographic maps to a T, as well as selling drawings to the lock to sell to the townspeople. This is all without any formal drawing lessons, just a note.
Right.
And due to all of this drawing experience, he would eventually drop the plans at only 17 for the canal that was to be built in Shippingsport, Kentucky, which is pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, I mean, at 17 years old, I mean, it's incredible that, first of all, he has this sort of self-taught skill of drawing, but then to draw up and sketch such an important document, such as basically the blueprints to what is going to be a canal.
Yeah, and due to the skill highly needed, he quickly went from labor to engineer and surveyor. And during the 1830s, he even drafted up many other canals. One of the notable ones is the Ohio Canal in 1835, and was appointed the deputy surveyor of Franklin County, Ohio, specifically.
That's nuts.
As a kid, I mean, it's incredible. In 1836, an invitation from former employer Byron Kilbourne, which you might recognize Kilbourne, right? Kilbourne Avenue.
Yeah.
If anyone from Milwaukee knows this one, would lead Lapham to land in Milwaukee. For folks in Milwaukee, obviously these names are familiar. Byron was a boss of Lapham, and one of his canal projects from Miami Canal, which is in Miami, Florida, right?
Yeah.
And Kilbourne, who saw much potential here in Wisconsin due to the Milwaukee and Rock River. These would allow Milwaukee to go from a small settlement to a large city. He would accept the offer and come to Milwaukee on July 1st of 1836. And though the canal was never built, he met his wife, Anne Maria Alcott, and they would decide to stay in the Milwaukee area.
Sure.
And during his time in Milwaukee, he was one of the people who would assist Milwaukee to become the large city we all know in today. He was appointed deputy surveyor for the Wisconsin Territory. He surveyed much of the land and registered land claims early in Milwaukee's history, before the actual government land office was opened. He would be one of the top to map out Milwaukee's layout from the lakeshore outwards. He was also one of the founders and highly involved with the Milwaukee public high school systems, and also the Milwaukee Female Seminary.
Wow.
Yeah, and Lapham was also naturally curious and explorative, and on the side, he would always work on scientific work and discoveries. He published in 1836 a catalog of plants and shells that were found all around the Milwaukee area. He also published a geographical and topographical description of Wisconsin that was published in 1844, which was one of the many reasons that people settled in the Milwaukee when looking for new places to call home, as they could draw up, and it looked like information about the area, and maybe it looked similar to their home in the old world, right? Like Germany, Finland, like, hey, there's alpines here. It's cold in the wintertime.
Yep.
We have summertime.
We have beer.
Yes, exactly.
Ladies.
Ladies, beer,
rock
boobs,
music,
rock, eagles,
rock flag eagle,
overalls.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
I thought you were going to say ovaries.
Ovaries. I was
like, what are you doing?
Ovaries, Jesus Christ. Christmas.
We've got Quick Trips. We've got Farm and Fleets.
Topographic maps of all the Quick Trips in the areas. He is also credited as drawing the first map published of the area, along with around 80 books in total, including the Antiquities of Wisconsin, which was a book that talked about all the drawings of the effigies and Indian mounds found throughout the state, and was published in 1855.
Yeah, yep.
And he also published in 1867 an early conservation report called The Disastrous Effects of Destruction of Forest Trees. And the Wisconsin lumber industry was booming, causing a mass loss of vegetation and of all the old logs that have been here for hundreds of years. You know, like all the old oak groves, a lot of these trees that have been here, cedars, you know, a lot of these ones that aren't going to be here anymore. He started realizing this early on, like, we need to chill out, right? These trees have been here for 100 years. It takes 100 years to get that log again. Hey, let's calm down.
It's going to be, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is the replenishment of these things isn't just simple.
It's not like a pine or
time.
It's not like a pine or silver maple where they come up quick. You know, they're softwoods. They're not hardwoods like these oaks and stuff. So, and this report also included his observation of weather, which led him to determine that a widespread system was needed to record and observe weather in the area. And after watching and documenting weather, he realized that this meteorological data could be mapped and reported, and would sometimes repeat with certain conditions or type of things they watch out for.
Right.
And this became known as predicting the future of weather, right?
Right. He created the Doppler radar.
Essentially, yes. Obviously, he wasn't a radar guy, but he could predict things based on, like, the dew points, right? Or, like, the moisture in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And Lapham would help in establishing the National Weather Bureau, which was a precursor to what we know today as the National Weather Service, which was actually established in the 1870s.
Which is also part of, like, the Weather Channel, which has awesome elevator music.
Sick jazz, right?
Sick jazz
that just continues for fucking hours. It's just for fucking hours. And you're just going crazy like, hey, I want to see the fucking On the Sevens, but I don't want to hear this fucking shitbag music. All right, for 2 hours, it's the same shit. Fuck this shit.
You could put that on and host a fancy dinner party as long as they never see your TV.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a fancy dinner party that was going on in the background, you might have a few guests that might off themselves. Let's be honest. Whether on the 8th.
They might be sleeping.
Whether on no dates. That's what I fucking call this, right?
Local on the 8th, you're not getting a date.
You're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
And he has made a long-lasting impression on Wisconsin and the world, and just another extraordinary person from our own backyard. But unfortunately, as we all do, we die. And on September 1875, he died of a heart attack and is actually buried in the Forest Home Cemetery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I've actually visited his grave because he's a huge influence on me. I know they have open doors in Milwaukee. We can actually go walk around that graveyard.
Yeah.
Where they just let anybody kind of go in there, take pictures, and they open some of the mausoleums, things that you can't normally get into. And I actually visited his grave.
Exhuma body.
And I mean, he's a huge influence on me, obviously. I mean, I love Wisconsin. I love exploring. I love science. I love museums. And this guy had a huge influence on the state before people actually did these kind of things, right?
He was the earliest influencer.
And as a UW-Madison graduate, a lot of his objects are still on display in UW-Madison, and I've actually visited a few of these, including fossils, minerals, shells, meteorites, Indian artifacts, and relics, and a large herbarium, which is still there in the archive as pressings, and I've seen a few of these with my own eyes. Awesome that he did this. Huge, impressive person. One of those scientific, explorative people in our state that made a huge contribution. Anyone from Milwaukee. So today we're recording Milwaukee Bucks, smoking right now. Where would Milwaukee Bucks be without Increase Allen Lapham?
Nowhere. Right?
Exactly. So this is like a huge influence to us. I mean, nowhere. They'd be fucked.
No, they wouldn't even be around. Yeah, I mean, this is
it's cool.
It's a really cool piece of history to know that there was an individual who was just really, really highly skilled at all these different things. As you mentioned, it wasn't just map making or canal drawings. Exactly. It was a lot of things, and he just had that early warning system inside of his own body to be like, oh man, we could probably do something to predict weather, or man, we could probably do something to predict early use of resources or exploration of resources and stuff. So just a really cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the previous episode, it's hard to take that 10,000-foot view, but this guy has it. He's like, hey, these trees are disappearing. They're 100 years old. It takes 100 years to get this tree. Chill the fuck out.
Chopping them down, man.
Chill out, bro. Hey, come on.
Take a chill pill, man.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Increase Allen Lapham, huge influence on Milwaukee. Really impressed with the guy. I love him. Like I said, I've seen some of his collections at UW-Madison. Just did great things for the state. Did great things for the world, including the Weather Service.
Yeah, go check it out at UW-Madison and see if you can.
Yeah, you can still find some of his old pressings, some of these shells and stuff on display. So check it out.
All right, so our music segment today is kind of special. These Sons of Leroy is really a collective. The two main driving forces behind it are Adam and his dad Scott. They have been just sort of working through COVID on putting some of these things down, and I think they'd always kind of wanted to work on some sort of music project together. And this, what better time than to be able to remotely, send project files back and forth and work comfortably and safely. So I have done background vocals on a lot of this stuff for them and with them.
Someone I graduated with on this, Shannon Holly. I knew Shannon from school.
Yep.
Obviously, Adam, I remember him in high school with a Synapse Departure. I was on some bands too. It was just, it's cool. I mean, I'm glad he's continuing on with the music career, and I love this stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, they've got another person involved from the UK, Annie. She's a bass player that has been on, I think, almost every single track. It's just really cool to see the evolution of musical projects and just how much can get done without being ever face to face, which is so
incredible.
Cool. And Adam's dad, Scott, is just one of the greatest all-time musicians I have heard. The addition of his pieces, the little runs that he does on guitar and stuff, just make the track a completely different experience. So we chose Ode to the Gun Draw is the song, and it's an absolute awesome piece. So I do some background vocal on this one, and it's absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. Go check them out. I know they have a Facebook and an Instagram, Sons of Leroy. Enjoy Ode to the Gun Draw.
So glad to meet you all. My friends say it's a flaw. So glad to meet you in an alley for a draw. Mama politely says that I'm a lunatic. We're about to have some fun with the barrel of a gun. Take 10 paces back and spin it around. We're just getting started, and already this town, they're dancing on their feet and they're shaking their tails. Even in a gun draw, fun prevails. Smile for me, baby, the sheriff's on his way. He says I can't serve justice on a stranger, not today. Well, I met this man about an hour ago, so I think that we are good. Shooting a best friend just like I should. So we swing it around, and both guns, yeah, they jam. How crazy it feels to stare at this man. I was gonna kill you. And the sheriff grabs my left hand, puts it next to my right. You know I warned you, Adam. Now the state won't be polite. They are gonna kill you.
Again, that was Sons of Leroy, and the song was Ode to the Gun Draw. I hope you all enjoyed hearing my little cameo appearance in the song this week.
That was sweet.
It's an absolute riot to be involved in any musical project whatsoever, especially when it is with friends. So go and check them out. Like I said, they have a Facebook and an Instagram, Sons of Leroy. You will not be disappointed. All of the songs are absolutely awesome. We have a beverage review today, and we know a little thing or two about this. The beer itself is called the Bray Road Beast, and it is the Beast of Bray Road Amber Ale.
Yeah, so this one's coming in from Second Salem, and obviously we just have a growler on this one, and the growler's cool itself. It actually has like witches kind of dancing around, kind of has that green, blue, and white look to it. Really cool. The beer's really good. Obviously, with an amber, you're going to get an amber color, right? It's going to be like a medium brown colored.
Very sexy.
Kind of fall tasting. And obviously, we grew up in Elkhorn when the Bray Road Beast was going on, right? So we are going to have a Halloween special. We have a lot of friends that said they've seen the Bray Road Beast.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not making fun of you. I've never seen the Bray Road Beast. I live pretty fucking close there. I'm going to be honest with you.
So a lot of weirdos out there.
See a lot of freaky folks.
Yeah.
To be honest. So this amber ale is coming in at 6.66% ABV, if you can believe it. It actually is. And the IBUs are 47, which are like not that bitter, but a little bit of bitterness. You're not in the IPA range. You're getting a very good front body, like that maltiness is coming through, like very heavy, kind of that fall flavor.
Sure.
That I always consider with the ambers. You're getting that fall, that Bach-y flavor, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really good. You're getting some of that like spicy notes from some of the hops, maybe a little herbalness. What about you, Eric? What are you getting?
Same. I mean, it's honestly just a classic amber with maybe just like a little bit of a darker vibe to it. I mean, I enjoy it though. It's good. I mean, the thing that takes me back though is just the fact that in Elkhorn, this is something that you learn about as a child, as sort of that legendary folk tale of the Bray Road Beast, and you're so scared for your first time to travel down that fucking road. Yeah. And then you realize that it's just a fucking windy road that is long and there's nothing there.
And shout out to the Smodgy bros who actually lived on Bray Road.
Yeah.
You know, the dirt biking bros that are just phenomenal. Been
Absolutely
on America's
amazing.
Got Talent. I mean, I knew them before that, skateboarding and like dirt biking in the area. I knew them from that. But you know what? We don't have a bottle, but they do have artwork for this beer, right? And Eric, can you explain this badass freaking art piece?
Yeah, that basically looks like me when I get up in the morning. It's a 400-pound hairy biped. So that's me. Really weirded out that they characterized me so well. But so it's essentially just a werewolf creature that isn't on 4 legs. It's on 2, and it's like howling up in at the moon. Very cool.
It's just great graphics, right? I mean,
really is.
And we did that episode last Halloween about Second Salem, and this year we're planning on doing a Bray Road Beast episode, correct? I mean, this is going to be a lot of Patreon extras because I have so many people to interview for this. That's why I've been dreading doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know so many people have seen this thing and they have stories to tell. So we're going to do that.
There's going to be a lot of content there.
I mean, we're going to probably make it a little generic, maybe have one interview at the end. But if you want to hear more, we have so many Bray Road Beast stories coming from Elkhorn.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many.
We'll have to make sure that, scheduling works out with everybody. But again, there will be some additional content that kind of flows along.
Exactly.
Potentially after the episode, it may not come out at the same time. But the story of the Bray Road Beast, the beer, it just sort of all matches well, and we have absolutely loved everything that Second Salem has done. We interviewed them.
Oh my God, that was an awesome interview.
Yeah,
these guys are great,
and their beers are just fun because the names and the naming conventions and the stories behind them, and then the graphic art that comes with it. It's all just it's a cool story, and it. I love everything that they've done. I love
the location too, because it's kind of like right when you get into downtown Whitewater, right? Their location. And one of my cousins went to UW Whitewater, so I was always there, and it was nice to just go have a couple brews, pass out at his dorm, which was nice back then. It was probably 2009, 2010. I had a fake ID, by the way.
Oh yeah.
My parents knew somebody who looked kind of like me, and so we got a fake ID so I could drink a little younger. Hey. Hey, is what it is.
I didn't
right?
need an ID to do that. I just, walked right in.
You had a sick beard though. I didn't. You know what I mean? You had a beard when you were pretty young.
Yeah.
I didn't have a beard probably till I was about in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
I think when my beard started coming in full. So, yeah, what it is. I mean, it's just genetics, baby.
And Whitewater's great for that. Really cool area. Good school. But you're definitely going to learn how to drink.
Oh, for sure. I mean, what do you got? Mitchell's, Pumpers, like you got all those down there. You know, there's a lot of drinking
College
places.
Pub.
Oh yeah, we've drank at a lot of those, right?
Oh yeah.
What was the other one? Coyote.
Yeah. Coyote Grill, another great one.
We sipped some liquor down there. Let's just be honest.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Again, that was Second Salem, Brayro Beast Amber Ale. Go and check it out. Go in there, get a growler. They are not producing bottles currently, right? I saw the art.
So.
We just saw the art at the place. We took a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about on the show here. But go and check them out. Second Salem, Whitewater, Wisconsin. Great beer, great brewery, good people. Check it out.
Grab a seat, gather round, join us for a chat. How many locos you at?
All right, folks, you know what that means. We got a good one today. Eric, are you ready for this? It's pretty crazy.
So I have never really been one to be very physical with my road rage. I typically will just verbally abuse with my windows rolled up, and I don't even get physical enough to smash my wheel or anything. But we have an incident here where road rage is suspected to be the main cause here. Other than drinking. But
80.
So this is Madison, Wisconsin. A suspected road rage incident on Madison's Near East Side early Tuesday morning led to both drivers being arrested on OWI allegations after they stopped to meet officers at a police substation. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's read more here.
That's the usual.
Yeah, totally. Go closer to the cops, you fucking idiots. According to the Madison Police Department, officers were alerted to a road rage situation shortly before 3 a.m. Oh, wow. Shortly before 3 a.m. What happened shortly before 3 a.m.? The bars closed.
Yeah.
And the caller told police they would come to the department's North District station. The department's initial report did not indicate the nature of the dispute. After both drivers arrived in the station's parking lot in the 2000 block of Londonderry Drive, officers met them and reported detecting signs of impairment.
What a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah. And, beautiful. Both women.
Gee, are you serious?
Holy shit!
I
This
thought
thing
it was
just
gonna
keeps
be
getting
freaking
deep.
testosterone dudes.
I can believe it though. Both women were then arrested for operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, and both taken to the Dane County Jail. We have one woman is 32. She was booked for operating while intoxicated, possession of narcotics,
Jesus.
bail jumping, possession of THC, and possession of other drug paraphernalia. Well, the other individual, who we don't have a age for, faces a count of operating while intoxicated, and that's a fifth offense for that individual.
Cinco.
So we have one person who has a whole laundry list of fucking problems, and then we have the other one who's just done the drinking and driving thing far too many times.
So can we just take this right off? The person with the friggin' 25 charges, that's the one that probably started it, right? They're on narcotics and all kinds of shit.
Right.
That's the person that started it, right?
They were ready to rip the fucking steering wheel off the column.
The other person was just dumb enough to go to the police office. You know what I mean? Like, just dumb enough to be like, oh, hey, there's been a problem here.
So,
I'm coming down to report it. And then they're drunk on top of it. Jesus.
And so I guess my question for you is, how do you want to handle this moving forward? Do you want to do a combined?
They're both stupid. I think they're pretty close to similar, right? Let's do combined, like just together. Like, what do you think average between those two? So we got the one woman, she's a little younger, just dumb, right? She's 32 years old, right? She's just dumb. She has a lot of other charges going on, some drug addiction problems as well on top of everything else. Yeah. Then you got somebody who's a veteran drinker. We don't have an age on her, but she also has 5 other offenses, right? She's done the number 5. This is number 5. So she's a veteran drinking. They both have problems, right? I mean, I think it's gonna be pretty close to similar. So we'll just go with both of them and average those two out.
And I already have what I would consider my guess.
I mean, they're women, right? And I'm not trying to make that any judgment, right? Like women are going to have like a lesser
tolerance.
Yes, and I think I have my number here. And the fact that they went to the police station while they were still drunk, screw that. I would hide out, right, and get sobered up before I went to the police station, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just in all honesty.
I mean, that would be the sober-headed thinking thing to do.
Yeah, I'll come down in a little bit, right? And just stay home and take a cold shower, chill out for a little bit, sleep, and then head down there when you're just sobered up.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the drunk brain took over for both of these women, and they are now in some pretty deep shit.
Yeah. So fuck.
Why don't we decide where we're at and deliver our number?
I got my number.
You think you got?
I got my number. I hate to say it because, it's not that 16 level, but it's close. I mean, it's
yeah,
for
I was
me,
thinking
it's
12.
close. Yeah, I was 12 too on this one. This is a standard 12. I mean,
yeah.
The fact that they went to the police station, though, like, please, if you're doing something dumb and you're fighting with somebody in traffic, just don't go to the police station while you're still drunk.
See, now you're 12 though. That's 6 each.
Yeah,
because that's where I was.
That might be a 20 for me. Like, I'm stupid at that point. Like, you're just like, I'm so mad at this girl, I'm gonna head down to the police station and get rearrested.
Yeah.
Great thought process here, right, Cindy? Yeah. Like, just chill out. That's not a real name, by the way. I just making it up here.
But you know, the thing that makes me consider that this is only a 6 per driver is, I mean, they were both coherent enough to do all of this stuff.
Yeah, right. That's
like, they weren't fucking blacked out.
They hated each other that much where they're like, let's go to police station, settle this once and for all.
Yeah. That's why I consider this. It's a 12 combined, but I believe it's going to be 6 each. And
that's kind of what I was at, too. That's where I went to.
They had 1 can each, and then they additionally had a half can.
Yeah, just to kind of get them over the edge here.
Which might even be just a little much, but I think it's probably the closest number we're going to get.
Okay, let's go 12 local combined. All right, today we're here with Tim from Montello Brewing Company. Tim, how are you doing?
Doing really good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Great. Can you give us a little background on the Montello Brewing Company and just like how you guys got your start and a little bit of history?
Sure thing. So I have a good friend, and so we're your classic Illinois people who have a cabin up in Wisconsin, and ours happens to be in Montello. Actually, my wife's family's had a cabin up there for like 40 years, and so. One of the local watering holes in town, I've been talking to him for a long time about starting a microbrewery, and the guy took me up on it, and about 3 years ago, we decided to give it a shot.
That's so cool. I know a lot of our listeners from that like Montello area, central Wisconsin kind of, and we love the brewery, we love the beers, we love everything you guys stand for. Can you give us some beers that we need to look out for that are coming out recently?
Yeah, so our best 2 beers are our porter and our blonde ale. So those were the first 2 beers we learned how to brew about 3 years ago, during the winter season when we first got started brewing. And then we've expanded it beyond that. We have about 10 different brews now, but the porter and the blonde ale, in my mind, are still our best.
Awesome. And yeah, can you tell us, I know with COVID, things have kind of been changing. Is there any events you recommend us go and check out?
We don't have any events scheduled right now, other than like what kind of goes on in Montello. But we are planning. We are organizing Oktoberfest this year. So
awesome. Last
year we made our first Oktoberfest, and it was really good, and we really enjoyed it. And so this year we're gonna try to get an Oktoberfest event going. Late September.
Awesome.
Around the brew.
We can't wait to check that out. That sounds awesome. We're always looking for like a new Oktoberfest, so that's really great. And Tim, before we let you go. So you said you're south of the border there, eh? But we're going to ask you a few questions to find out how Wisconsin are you, Tim. Are you ready to do this?
I am. I can give it a shot.
All right, sounds good, Tim. So the first one we got, Quick Trip. Do you have a Quick Trip Rewards membership card?
I do have a Quick Trip Rewards membership card.
Oh, my God. Awesome. Tim, that's great to know you're south of the border and you still have a Quick Trip Rewards member.
I mean, it's a survivalist necessity in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
Tim, we're giving you a knuckle over the phone right now. You can't see it, but we're giving you a knuckle.
I can feel it.
All right. So the next one I have for you, beer brats. Is there a Montello beer we could try to make beer brats with that you'd recommend?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So, are we talking like parboil the brat?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So I would go with our Pilsner.
A Pilsner?
We've got a Czech Pilsner.
Pilsner.
That's nails, and I would also use it to parboil the brats. I'd highly recommend it.
Perfect. And I was going to ask too. So somebody south of the border, have you been to Summerfest? And do you have a favorite band you've seen there?
I have been to Summerfest, but in full disclosure, it was a very long time ago. It probably early 2000s was the last time I made it to Summerfest. And Pearl Jam would have to be the.
Nice, PJ.
Oh, I love Pearl Jam.
Heck yeah,
Eddie Vedder. Heck yeah. All right, so Tim, I was going to ask you too. The next question I got: what do you consider to be up north Wisconsin? I know this is a great question. I come from Beloit, Elkhorn area, so we're really close to the border. But what do you consider to be up north Wisconsin?
Yeah, for me, up north has got to be like, I'm a little biased here, but for me, up north has to be like about at least 45 minutes an hour north of Madison.
Yeah, and that's not that bad. Actually, I was kind of in the same boat when I grew up because we never went that far north.
Because that's perfect. Like the Dells.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the next question I got for you, a supper club. Have you ever been to one, and do you have a favorite?
Well, yeah, I've been to quite a few. I consider myself a supper club aficionado.
Nice.
It's one of the things. One of the greatest things about Wisconsin is the supper club. There are a number of them around Montello. There used to be one right in downtown Montello called Granite Falls. That's since changed hands, and they're like redoing it. So we're like really anxious next summer to see them. There's a couple down the road, but I'd have to say one of my favorites is the Hobnob over in Kenosha.
Yeah.
That's like man, I love that one.
That one's top notch.
That's a top notch. Oh, that's really good. Yeah,
absolutely.
So next one I got for you. Have you ever tailgated at a Brewers, Packers, or Badgers game? And this one's going to be interesting. So
I have tailgated at all three.
Oh, the trifecta.
I'm trying to start to sound pretty Wisconsin here.
Yeah.
All right. So let me break it down for you. So my uncle played for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh wow!
No way.
Back in the Lombardi days. So huge Packer fan. Go up there all the time with my buddies, and we tailgate up there. Probably at least 2 games a year. Like maybe one preseason, one regular season, and maybe in a hook, right? So the same buddy who has the season tickets to the Packers, which is a kind of funny story because he has it like through like his sister's ex-father-in-law or something, like a classic like Green Bay, Wisconsin story about how he's got the seats. But that same guy had a buddy who used to take a group of kids from elementary school. You know those book sales, like sell books.
Yeah.
And you win a trip to a Brewers game. So we used to go every time he did that every year. So I tailgated for the Brewers game, and then tailgated for a couple of Badger games with some friends who know how to do it right. I went to Michigan State, so been to about 4 or 5 of those games. So.
That's awesome. Actually,
those are
really
always
cool.
fun games.
They are really fun games. And then, so the last one we got for you before we let you go today and let you get on your way, besides obviously Montello Brewing Company, is there a brewery tour within the United States or without, in any other country that you recommend our listeners go and check out? I know I've been to quite a few in other countries here in the States. We'd like to hear your opinion.
Wow, that's really a tough one, and I'm just gonna, I mean, there's a ton of them, man. I really like Bell's in Michigan. They do a really good job. I actually like, it's small, but I love what Oso Brewery does.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I love Oso.
Those guys are doing, so real quick on our beers, like I mentioned, our porter, our blonde, we got a really good pilsner, we got a good wheat. We're not, we have an IPA and we have an APA, but we're not like super hoppy, right? Like super hoppy, smack in the face IPA, and we don't have any. We're not into the hazies yet, and we're not into the sours yet, right? So sometimes I look at what Oso's doing, and they got a lot of really interesting hazy IPAs and some interesting fruit sours, and that stuff we haven't cracked into that yet. We're still building our repertoire, if you will. So I really like Oso up there, and then I would say, 2 years ago I went to the Oktoberfest in Munich, and some of the, if you go a little bit early, some of the tours you can take of like Pauliner and Franziskaner are just awesome. You just see like where it's been made for hundreds of years that way, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to Germany, I've been there one time in my life, and I got cut off at a bar being American. They said no more beer for you, and I was like, okay. So, I mean, I told them
way to represent.
I know. I told them I was from Wisconsin. They're like, no more. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So, but no, Tim, thank you so much. Obviously, a lot of our listeners are from the Montello, central Wisconsin area, so we're so glad to have you on. I've been there multiple times. You're always my stop on the way up north. I really appreciate it, and I love everything you guys are doing, but please keep doing what you're doing. And Tim, thank you so much for your time on this Sunday.
Sure thing. I'll say before I leave, have you been by? Have you tried our beer?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I really love, I'm a pretty generic person. I like the blonde ale, obviously you said already.
Yeah, the unblonde. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's just like well balanced, has a good hop quality to it. It's not overly bitter, but it has like just, you guys hit the blonde ale. When I think of blonde ale, yeah. It's not overly malty. It's not overly hoppy. It's kind of like right in the central there. I love it. I love everything you guys do. And I'm really proud of like you guys are in our state, honestly. And I love what you guys are doing.
Love it, man. Hey, I appreciate it. And, we're gonna keep building and keep working locally, right? Because, everything we are is, all the names of our beers, and they all tie into the local history and stuff, and so hopefully that's something everybody digs. And I really appreciate the support and the chance to talk to you guys today.
Yeah, and Eric, you had a favorite, didn't you? That you wanted to talk about real quick?
I've had a couple. I guess I did have the chance to try the Old 58, which was really good.
It's like a black Irish ale.
Yeah,
that one's a great.
And
black Irish.
Yeah, I'm not super into like the darker roasted malt kind of flavors, but that one in particular, I really liked. And then for it to be named after Dan Curry, a legendary Packer, that's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, a little background on Old 58. Old 58 was originally a mistake. We went to, this is when we were just getting started, and we had the blonde ale and we had the porter. And we went to make the porter and realized we didn't have all the grains and all of the right hops.
Oh, wow.
So, but we were like an hour and a half, 2 hours into the brew day, right? So we're like, well, let's just see what happens. Like, let's record what we're doing. Let's see what happens. And if it doesn't turn out good, we'll chalk it up to research and development. And it came out. Yeah. It came out tasting pretty good. And then we're like, all right, that's good. Let's see if we can recreate it, right? Like, just, since we were just kind of improvising, and then now it's like that is absolutely one of our most popular beers. People love that. It's like it's a dark Irish ale, as it turns out, right? We've made some tweaks to it, but yeah, it's a really popular beer, and not just because it's named after my uncle, but it's
that's cool.
But it's actually yeah, that's awesome to hear.
But Tim, thank you so much for your time. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we can't wait to come up and see you. Hopefully we can get a little brewery tour next time we're up there. We'll bring you some beer koozies, and keep doing what you're doing.
Anytime, guys, just let me know. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate your podcast, too. I've been listening to it quite a bit. So
awesome.
Keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll see you guys sometime soon.
All right, sounds good, Tim. You take it easy.
Go Pack, go.
Cheers, guys. Go Pack, go.
All right, bye.
All right, so before we end the show today, we'd really like to take the opportunity to share with y'all an Apple Podcast review that we received.
This was pretty cool.
Yeah, 5 stars. And the review was left by the username Scotty May Know, and the title is Love Some Cheeseheads. The review reads, "This is the ultimate Wisconsin podcast. Anything you want to know about Wisconsin, they will cover here. Both hosts are having a blast, and they bring you into the fun. Though those I definitely didn't know about, the ice cream wars, so they're saying that they didn't understand or know about the ice cream wars before. Yeah. And I highly recommend this podcast."
Awesome. Scotty Minole, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
It's super cool. And like we said before, like we have mostly 5-star reviews, but we have a couple, a 1 and a 2. But if you guys have a negative review, good review, positive review, whatever review, just let us know. Like send us a comment too, so we can make the podcast a better place for everyone. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make it all things Wisconsin, not only history. We have the music, we've got the interviews. We've got some funny articles, whatever you can think of. We're just trying to make it a great podcast for everybody. Just, get some entertainment when you're having that shitty Sunday and you just need somebody to cheer you up. That's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. And honestly, we can't learn and grow without your assistance as well.
Positive, negative, baby.
Please reach out. All right, that concludes this episode of Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast.
If you enjoyed this vulgar display of Wisconsin, please like and subscribe on whatever streaming platform you prefer. And remember to hit the bell on YouTube to be notified when we release new content.
Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email at widrunkenhistory@gmail.com or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Thanks again for listening, and remember, as always,
watch out for deer on your way home.